All right, good morning, guys. All right, so today what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take a look at making the wheel for the train. All right, so let's start a new piece here. So this one is, it looks really complicated, and it is, okay, for the dimensions. So kind of one of the things we're going to do here is we're going to actually use our Revolve tool again. All right, and then we kind of add pieces. So if you kind of, again, break it down step by step, all right, don't get stressed out when you kind of look at the dimensions because they can be a little overwhelming. All right, so let's kind of break it down. So right now I know that, hey, I'm making a round object, so I'm actually going to use my Revolve tool. All right, we have to have a part here where the axle peg is going to go. So right now what I want to do is I want to start a 2D sketch, and I'm actually just going to draw an axis here. All right, which is going to reference that space, and I want to figure out how far this is going to be away from each other. All right, so if we kind of take a look at it, it's 0.25 away from here, so half of that, all right, roughly looks about half. They should have better dimensioning on here. So I'm going to say that this is 0.125 away from here. This one is going to be 0.125. And if I follow this all the way across, it's going to tell me that the height of it is 0.25. Okay, so let's take a look. So right now I'm just going to draw this rectangle spaced away from that line. Okay, so let's take a look at that. All right, again, I can go to my XY axis just to kind of keep everything all nice and clean. All right, and I'm going to draw my line. Now this line, it really doesn't matter the distance of it, anything like that. All right, I'm just using it as a reference, and then I'm going to use my rectangle here that if I look for the height again, that was 0.25, and for the width of it is 0.125. All right, now I just have to dimension that, all right, to that line. So I actually want to hit the letter D again, and I want to go from this edge to here. All right, that's going to be 0.125. All right, so now I go back and I want to take a look at the dimension here. So again, here, they don't make it easy for you guys or anything like that. So we know that here is 0.25 from here to here. All right, from here to here, all right, is going to be 0.75. So we can figure out that that distance there is actually going to be 0.5. All right, and again, if I kind of follow this line across, all right, it's going to be at 0.125. All right, so the rectangle here should be 0.5 by 0.125. All right, let's go back, take a look at that. All right, and we're going to go in this direction. So again, 0.5 for the width. And 0.125, which it's already aligned to. All right, for the height of it. So I just hit enter. All right, now I want to kind of go back and figure out what is this last piece going to be. Okay, so this last one here, again, they're giving me the dimension of 1 here, all right, and 0.75 here. So if I look at the distance in between here, it should be 0.25, and the height of it, again, is 0.25. All right, so let's kind of go back and 0.25 by 0.25, boom. Okay, so that kind of takes it like that. All right, now one of the things I can do is there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can actually go in and kind of fillet your edges now. So if you kind of look here, this one is going to have a radius of 0.125. And you kind of go in here. This one's going to be typically, all right, that's what the TIP means, is going to be a radius of 0.06. So there it's going to be 0.06, there it's going to be 0.06, and in here. So basically anything that's rounded that they kind of don't tell you exactly what it is, it's going to be 0.0625. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do my revolve first, all right, and then this way I'll fillet it later. Just because if you do it here, sometimes it opens up the shape and it's not a closed shape and it doesn't do the revolve. So I find it's just easier to do it in 3D instead of in 2D. Okay, so let's finish our sketch. All right, we have what it's going to reference. I'm going to use my revolve tool, select the geometry that I'm working with. Then I want to select the axis. All right, and I can delete this line later. All right, and if I turn it to its side, it now made it, all right, into the wheel. Okay, so now I can go back. Actually, it looks like it took out that axis line anyway, so that works. Go. Fusion actually did something cool. All right, so now we can go in and let's kind of fillet our edges of that 0.06. We're going to hit our F key to get our fillet command. All right, hold down Control. All right, click what we need to click. All right, boom. And that one is going to be dimension of 0.0625. All right, and you can see it rounds off the edges all nicely. All right, and then this last fillet we're going to do is, let's double check the dimension. It's going to be at basically 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so we go back, hit our F key to get into our fillet, hold down Control, and we want to do either side of the wheel. Okay, and just let's put that in at 0.125. All right, so we got our 1/8 of an inch. We're good to go. Okay, so basically we got the parameters of the wheel here. All right, now what we have to do is we have to go in and make the spokes of the wheel. All right, and it does look complicated at first, but you're basically going to do a couple lines. We're going to use a new tool called the pattern tool. All right, the circle pattern tool. All right, so let's go back down here. All right, we want to add this piece here because if we actually do these cutouts and the way we do the pattern tool, if we don't do it right, it's going to fall into one of those holes. And obviously, if it's not strong enough, it's not supported all the way, it could break off, and we don't want that. All right, so here we're going to take a look at this. So right now, for the basic geometry of this, we're looking at it, we're going to start circles. All right, so we're going to use this circle here. All right, and then make another circle here. All right, and then for the sides here, we're going to use the line tool. So we're going to look at going here. All right, this first line is going to be 15 degrees up from the origin. All right, to make that line. And then this line here is going to be 30 degrees up from that one, or 45 degrees from, let's say, the x-axis. Okay, so this is what that's going to kind of look like. All right, again, we're going to create a 2D sketch and we're going to use this flat surface. Now they show it from the back of the wheel. It really doesn't matter which side you draw it from. All right, and let's kind of take a look at the dimensions for it. So if we look at this first circle, they're giving us a radius here again, which again is annoying. So we want to go here and say that we're going to go what is that, 1.35. All right, 1.35, and this one is going to be 0.75. All right, so let's go do that. All right, and again, with the math, if you wanted to kind of do the calculations in here. So I'm just going to actually start a circle. All right, and that was 1.375, 1.375. All right, and that doesn't look all right. Let me just see. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's early, so maybe I'll do the calculator as well. But all right, 0.625 times 2. All right, and let's just double check our math. All right, yeah, I was a little off, so that's 0.125. All right. Need more coffee. All right, let's have some coffee. All right, the other one here, again, taking a look at it, this one is going to be 0.75. That's going to give us the radius for the diameter for the inner circle. All right, so let's go back to that. Let's make that circle. All right, and really all we're doing is we're going to make one of those shapes for the spokes and then actually use our pattern tool to kind of make it. So if we look here, the lines here, all right, this one is we're going to draw out this way. It doesn't matter the distance because we're going to use our trim tool to kind of cut everything down. All right, we're just going to go 15 inches from the bottom, or 15 degrees up from the bottom, and then again 40 to 45 degrees from the bottom as well. All right, and here's what that looks like. So we're going to draw our line. We're going to start in the center. All right, and again, it doesn't really matter the distance. All right, but what I want to do, and one of the things I always suggest is that if this is again why I like to start things on the XY axis, because if you're on a different one, your degrees might go up, they may go down. So, it might start at 90. So you want to make sure that you're kind of on the right path. Okay, so I'm just going to go 15 degrees up from that. All right, I'm going to go back. I'm going to draw my next line. All right, again, it doesn't matter the distance, and because all I'm doing is changing the degrees. All right, and that one's going to be at 45 degrees. All right, and you can see here, now what I made is that's the part I'm looking for. Okay, now to kind of clean this up and not get the extrude tool kind of confused, what you could do is you could use your trim tool here and just trim away all the unnecessary pieces. Okay, you can kind of go in, trim that up, All right, get rid of that line, that line. All right, and just so you can kind of have that basic piece left over. All right, I think that should be good. All right, so this way I can kind of go in, use my extrude tool, and I'm going to kind of just remove that whole entire thing. So I can actually just grab that arrow, pull it down, and cut away all of the material there. So let's go back to our home view, which I don't like. So let's flip it over to there. I like that one better. All right, so now what I'm going to do is here, now I want to have that shape, and it's going to be repeated, all right, 6 times, 360 degrees, all right, and it's going to go off of this revolution point, all right, the inner, you could pick any circle on here, but I'm just going to use the inner circle there. Okay, so we're going to go here to our pattern tool. All right, and if you look here, I gotta find it on here. Boom, 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 patterns. Okay, so patterns, we have a rectangular pattern, like if you're making like a Lego piece or something like that, but we're just gonna use our circle pattern tool. All right, and now it's asking for which objects do you want to select. What's the axis that you're going to use? What's the rotation axis? And then, are you going full distance? Are you going to go 180 degrees? What are you doing? All right, so one of the things here, we actually can select features because I want to select this whole entire thing. If I did faces, it would just have me do each individual piece and I'd have to click, the 4 or 5 times or whatever. All right, so I'm just actually going to do this feature. All right, then I'm going to select the axis. All right, and now it's asking me how many times do I want to repeat this? So from the instructions, I know that we're going to do 6. Okay, so I hit 6, boom, hit our circular pattern tool, and now I have it exactly how it looks. All right, and now, this would be a good spot for me to put that little post that's going to come out for the linkage arm. All right, so if we go here, let's take a look at this. So one of the things we look at here is our dimension from here. So from the center of the first sketch to here is going to be 0.7. All right, then here we're going to come out. We have to draw, basically again 2 circles and extrude them, or 3 circles and extrude them. All right, you can do your hole tool here if you wanted to make a point to make that final hole. All right, that's where the linkage peg is going to go in. All right, but right now we just want to go here. So it's going to be the bigger circle is going to be 1/4 of an inch. All right, or sorry, yeah, 1/4 of an inch. And then this smaller one here is actually going to be 1/8 of an inch. All right, you're going to extrude it up 0.375 for the first part and 0.125 for here. And these are the dimensions for your hole. So it's going to be a diameter of 0.0625 and it's going to go down 0.25. All right, again, it looks confusing, but when you do it, it's literally like sketch, circle, extrude, sketch, circle, extrude, sketch, circle, extrude. Okay, so that's all you're doing on that. All right, so let's kind of take a look. We're going to start our sketch, and we want to select the face that those cutouts are drawn on. All right, and again, a shortcut you can kind of do is if I wanted to figure out where to put that circle, I could always just draw a line out 0.7 and delete it later. Okay, so I go 0.7, that's going to put my linkage peg out here. All right, and I can just go in now and draw out my dimension. So it was 0.25. All right, and then we're going to come up now. They don't really show it here, but it does kind of interfere with that piece there. Okay, and we're going to finish sketch. All right, and we're going to extrude. All right, this one we're going to do a full extrude. So we're going to actually, I should have deleted that line to make it easier, but we're going to actually extrude that out and we're going to do a join and it's going to come out. Let's just double check the dimension, 0.375. So I got that from looking at that dimension there. Okay, and okay. And now, if you look here, this is one thing you want to be careful of. This is why I like to kind of turn it the way I'm working because automatically it went for a cut, but I want to do a join. Okay, go join. That's going to come out that way. Let me just look at the feature there. It just doesn't look right. Let's check it out. Distance 0.375. Yeah, that's right. Okay. That's weird. It just doesn't look right, but anyhow. So now, boom, like I said, sketch, extrude, sketch, extrude. So right now I'm going to go to here. All right, I'm going to draw my center point circle again. This one here is going to be 0.125, I believe, again. All right, and where I'm getting that dimension is right there. And then it's going to be extruded up 0.125. All right, so 0.125, yes. Finish sketch, extrude, boom. All right, 0.125. Okay, and now again, we're gonna go in, sketch. All right, yes, yet again, another circle. All right, and this one is gonna be the 0.0625. All right, we're gonna finish sketch, and now extrude. This one's gonna go down, all right, a depth of 0.25. Okay, so let's click that. All right, and extrude that. So we're gonna do negative 0.125. All right, and that's going to give us that little hole there so the linkage peg can get hooked in later. All right, if it ever shows up red there, I happen to have 2 decimal places in there, so you can always kind of cut that out, and automatically it goes to a cut. So we're going to say okay, and that is basically the wheel. So again, kind of looking at all these crazy dimensions kind of led us to, that end piece. So again, kind of they're overwhelming when you first look at them, but if you kind of break it down into smaller steps, it is much easier. So hopefully these videos are helping. And let's just go back and kind of save this up. All right, so demo train wheel. All right, and there we go. All right, stop sharing and end recording.